Previously on Scimancant.
This day forward, you have now been officially upgraded from a basic NASA agent to the leader and founding member of the SEO, Science, Education, and Logic, Team 6. An elite team of 6 YouTubers who battle using science, logic, and reason against the fallacies of anti-scientific YouTube channels.
Yes!
The remaining 5 slots do need to be filled, and we'll gladly take your recommendations when filling them. Keep up the good work. Scimancant.
Ah, that reminds me.
Hello.
Yeah, I need an update. Have you started the initiation process for the 4th member of the SEAL Team 6 yet?
Where did you get this number?
You gave it to me.
Right. We have made several lines of inquiry regarding the 4th member and are awaiting information from further sources.
Okay, that sounds like you haven't really started anything. What have you guys been doing over there?
I can assure you, Scimancant, that all agents are immaculately trained, making headway with a variety of sensitive issues, not to mention being blessed with exceptionally high IQs.
Really? How many tabs do you have open right now?
"12.
Right. Just get on with sorting the 4th member out.
Yes, as soon as I finish my morning coffee.
No, we need it now.
Okay. Simon Spartacus.
There are fewer things to savour than flat earthers failing. It is a rite of passage that if you get caught up in the flat earth world, you should be failing on a regular basis. This of course provides me with an array of videos that I can use in my award-winning, potentially, Flat Earth Fail series. And yes, today is no different as I bring you 5, yes 5, glorious Flat Earth Fails. This is Flat Earth Fail Compilation 5.
Right, Scimancant, this is our second video debunking your round earth theory or whatever rubbish you talk about.
Hello all and welcome to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Scimancant. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, today we're going back through the Flat Earth archives and selecting only the very best fails for your viewing pleasure. We start with YouTuber TruthSeeker42. Let's see if this one applies to the YouTuber Channel of Truth paradox.
Hi y'all, TruthSeeker42 here. Just doing another little video today. A lot of negativity coming from other ones, but that's okay. Keep up the good fight. Remember, there are people throughout history that always knew the truth, and they fought for what's right.
How ironic, because that is exactly what I am doing.
So, today's about earthquakes. Most people say with a sphere. There we go. Sphere. Person standing over here would feel an earthquake. You can figure out where it is through the sphere, triangulation and stuff.
Well, it's slightly more complex than that, but yes, earthquakes can be detected from seismic stations all over the world.
And they say that there explains that the earth is round. There's a ball.
Well, not that alone, but carry on.
However, do exactly the same thing. Put your little guy here. Have an earthquake over here, one here, one here. As they propagate, you get exactly the same thing. Perfect triangulation from a flat surface you get from a sphere. So frankly, earthquake,
No words.
Earthquakes, proven. You don't need to have a sphere. You can just use a flat disk. have exactly the same system. It still propagate. You can still feel it at a distance, no matter where you are on the Earth. This whole sphere thing going from the center into the magma, all that jazz, complete garbage.
That is all well and good, Truth Seeker 42, but how does your flat Earth model explain the seismic shadow? There are two types of seismic waves that are produced when an earthquake happens, P waves and S waves, and they travel through some mediums but not others. Now, in the case of the P waves, they travel through different mediums at different velocities. As they travel through the Earth's core, they are deflected and as such reveal a shadow, if you will, where there are no P waves detected. This simply cannot be explained on your flat Earth model and quite beautifully provides evidence of a core to boot. Hang on. Yes?
I think I found your guy.
What guy?
The guy with the thing.
What thing? The first thing or the second thing?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So what are his skills?
He looks fairly okay in sunglasses.
Are you serious?
No, my heart leaps with joy right now.
Get back in there and ask some pertinent questions.
Like what?
Like, what is the unit of power?
Oh,
It's the watt, in case you didn't know.
of course I knew. Be right back.
Next up we have Level Earth Observer, who has something to say regarding cranes. What? I think we've stumbled across a James Bond villain. Evil master plan in progress, stealing bulldozers. I think we need an ominous soundtrack for this.
Now, what makes more sense to someone using logic here? Am I driving this crane on top of a cannonball that's doing 500,000 miles an hour, flying through space, whilst I'm spinning and wobbling and oscillating?
Yes, you are.
Or do you think I might be on a non-rotating Earth, which isn't moving anywhere, thankfully? What do you think here? What makes more sense, I wonder? Let's just have a think about this.
Sure, okay, let's have a think about this. Unfortunately, your extreme personal incredulity doesn't mean anything when it comes to the size, shape and movement of the Earth. In addition, displaying such high levels of confidence shows us nothing more than an excellent example of the Dunning-Kruger effect in full force. I will, however, congratulate you on having a real job. Kudos to you there. That is, of course, unless you've stolen the crane. Our next clip comes from YouTuber WakeyWakey, who feels like he has caught Brian Cox out. Let's have a look. So WakeyWakey is a YouTuber who makes documentary style videos about things he knows absolutely nothing about. The title of this particular video is Brian Cox is a Fraud 100% Proof. 100% proof, hey? Should be interesting.
Okay, just a very quick one. Oh dear. Brian Cox has been caught in the WakeyWakey net.
Oh please, the WakeyWakey net. You sound like you're some self-confessed crime-fighting unit.
100% proof. Okay, a good fellow I know alerted me to the fact Brian Cox was doing a live AMA on Reddit. AMA is abbreviation for Ask Me Anything. Okay, so it went live, and he says at the top, I'm Brian Cox, professor, blah blah, I've got a new tour coming out soon, promoting the globe, blah blah, ask me anything.
Do you think it's immediately obvious that he doesn't like him?
So I wrote this. Hi Brian, as a budding astronomer and hobby astrophysicist, a few things have always bothered me.
Hobby astrophysicist. Oh, that's a good one.
1. How can there be a vacuum of space next to spinning atmosphere with no physical barrier?
A hobby astrophysicist would never ask that question.
2. How high is it where spinning atmosphere turns into a vacuum?
A hobby astrophysicist would never ask that question.
3. How did they build the ISS at 17,000 miles an hour?
A hobby astrophysicist would never ask that question.
4. How do thrusters work in a vacuum?
A hobby astrophysicist would never ask that question.
5. Oceans bend due to the force of gravitons, we are told, but I can lift water out with my hands and splash it. Thank you. I know there are simple explanations, but would love to hear from you, as I've yet to find any decent explanations using the scientific method.
If there is a more hijacked term than scientific method in the Flat Earth community, then I'm yet to hear it.
So I'm obviously wording this in a way so a scientific professor would answer. It's polite and they are high-level scientific questions.
This is a high-level scientific question. Imagine an asteroid of diameter 1 kilometre of unknown taxonomic class is about to hit the moon. Will it make any difference to the impact crater produced whether the asteroid was S-type or C-type? Your list screams Flat Earther. It shows you up as someone who watches too much YouTube detritus. He probably could have seen you coming a mile away.
Easily answered by the UK's most famous professor, one would think. It was removed.
See? Told you, it was obvious.
I then posted, "Why did my questions get removed?" 3 seconds later, that was removed.
Ha! Brilliant.
And at the top remains the ridicule of Flat Earth.
If you didn't catch that, Brian Cox was asked, in all your years as a professor, what is the most ridiculous, random and nonsensical scientific theory you've heard about? Look what Brian says.
I then posted, "Screenshots taken, you will be outed, you shill, scared to answer real questions because we all know Brian, don't we? Keep up your fake platform to try and make FE look silly to zombies."
Ooh, you're hard, showing off.
And this one was again removed, this time in under a second. Interesting to note that Cox says here in the anti-Flat Earth thread there is no logical pattern to Flat Earth. When he can't provide the logic for simple ball questions, he actually just deletes them in fear. Or his team do.
No, it's because it was patently obvious that the questions were coming from someone being difficult with no real interest in science.
Brian Sucks Cox is a sellout shill BBC actor, rolled out to further a group of agendas.
Sure, and his degree in physics with first-class honours, his master's in physics, and his doctorate in high-energy particle physics, I guess they mean nothing.
He's a highly toxic, sort of asexual being, selling his soul for money and probably other things. He should be quarantined, really, for abuse to humanity.
Wow, okay, I'm going to tweet Brian Cox right now this quote from WakeyWakey and see how he feels about it. Right, here we go. Nope, that's Facebook. Here we go. Okay. Hi, Professor Brian Cox. WakeyWakey on YouTube thinks you should be locked up for abuse to humanity. What would you say to him about that? P.S. I don't think that. I think you're great. P.P.S. Please reply and follow me. There we go. This better be good news. Hello?
Hello. Is it me you're looking for?
What did you find out?
He's a genius.
Excellent. Then recruit him. Quickly.
Are you sure?
Come on. Go, 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 go. Okay, next up we have old channel friend Nathan Oakley 1980, who's made a video about why we can't see things that are really, really far away. Take it away, Nathan.
Why do things disappear from the bottom up as they get further into the distance? Well, I would assert it's because of an angular size limitation. So we're going to take a brick, this breeze block, out of the corner of this house that we can see. And we're nice and close, and obviously we can see the bottom of it. But we're going to start backing away, notwithstanding that everybody understands that a brick that's in the near foreground looks bigger than a brick that's in the distance.
Pretty groundbreaking stuff so far.
So we take our brick out from our house and we're going to start backing away from it when we put it in something to give it a bit of scale and context. So we've got these hay bales and we're going to put it next to this one in the near foreground and then back away from it. And obviously we can still see the brick.
Okay, we can still see the brick. Gotcha.
Then we're going to move on to these three that are in the midground that have got a bit of the old refractive effects going on. So we'll back away from this one and you can still just about see it. It's more than 1 pixel resolution of the camera that's taken this image, so we can still see it even when we back away, teeny tiny though it may be.
Okay, so we can still see it in the midground, spot on.
And then we're going to move on to the very, very far background and place it in the band of, if you like, horizon. And it's going to be in a section that's less than a pixel. So as we back away from it, we'll see it, but when we get to the full frame of the shot, you'll see that it's less than a pixel resolution of the camera. So this unfortunate little breeze block will be too small to see. The camera just doesn't have the resolution to resolve it. So as we back away from it in this instance, we see that the brick or breeze block is just simply too small to see.
What? Where did it go? That's not, cut!
Now imagine for a moment that we go back to that breeze block in its little position less than 1 pixel on the horizon, and we take the original house that we removed it from and put it on top of that brick. So we've got the breeze block, it's still less than 1 pixel, and we've got the rest of the house, and then we start backing away from that. As you can see, the brick will still disappear exactly as it did, we haven't changed it, but the house, which is a larger angular size than the brick at the bottom of the house, will still be visible. And as we back out, the bottom section of the house, which is about the size of the brick right next to it, will still have gone.
No, I can still see the bottom section of your house, probably because you've pasted it on there.
Now if we move on to a different example, just so you can visualise it in a slightly different way, we've got a couple of cars, maybe one at 1/4 of a mile, maybe one at 1.5 miles. And again, we'll put a breeze block next to them just to give you a bit of an idea of scale.
Cool, those breeze blocks get about, don't they?
And then what we'll do is we'll move the breeze block exactly the same way to the horizon where we have less than 1 pixel of resolution from this camera. So put it in the blurry mess and obviously the same will happen. We back away from it and it disappears. But in this instance, after we've backed away from it and it's disappeared because its angular size is too small, we'll build a building with 500 of them, maybe a 500-foot building on top of that first breeze block. And what do you know? We can still see it, but the breeze block that disappeared because of angular size has still gone. This is the reason that things disappear from bottom up. It's a simple question of angular size versus the angle of attack or the angle of view.
Oh, I see what's going on here. I finally understand. Nathan's got shares in breeze blocks. Must have.
Breeze blocks, they're made of breeze and a bunch of blocks. Breeze blocks.
Seriously though, no one is disputing that the angular resolution of things makes them more difficult to see. However, take a look at this from Red's rhetoric. This is where your theory falls apart, because there is absolutely no way that almost the entire bottom half of this building is too small to be seen due to angular resolution. Angle of attack is complete and utter codswallop. Right, our final video comes from Scimancant Flat Earth. Scimancant Flat Earth? I should hope not. Anyway, let's see what they've got.
Right, Scimancant, this is our second video debunking your round earth theory or whatever rubbish you talk about, right? Listen, that is a boat, yes? If we zoom into that on the horizon, you'll notice very, very clearly, no, wrong boat, 40, wrong boat, point at the other boat. No, yeah, that one, right? That boat stays exactly the same, doesn't it, Dan? Right? You can see, still flat, horizon disappeared, and now we can see the seat coverings. And that's all we can see, Dan, right? So that must prove that there is no roundness to this earth.
Thanks for the laugh, boys. Okay, thank you very, very much for joining me today on this wonderful Flat Earth Friday. I do hope you enjoyed the Flat Earth Fail Compilation 5 as much as I did. Please do like and subscribe for more. I have, as ever, been Scimancant, and I shall see you on Tuesday for some more tinfoiling fun. Bye. Incoming transmission. Computer? On screen.
Aloha, ahoy hoy, Scimancant. I'm quite happy to join your team 11, 12, team 6, elite something.
SEAL Team 6.
Yeah, that one. It's an honor and all that.
Welcome aboard, Planner Walk.